Welcome to Quick Classic Books. Today we dive into Charles Dickens' beloved masterpiece, A Christmas Carol, the story of how three ghostly visitors transformed the heart of London's most notorious miser. This timeless tale proves that Christmas magic can reach even the darkest soul. Meet Ebenezer Scrooge, a man so consumed by greed that his very name had become synonymous with miserliness throughout Victorian London. On a bone-chilling Christmas Eve in 1843, this 70-year-old recluse sat hunched over his ledgers, counting coins while his poor clerk Bob Cratchit shivered nearby with barely a coal to warm his hands. Scrooge's world was one of deliberate isolation. When his nephew burst through the door with Christmas greetings and an invitation to dinner, Scrooge dismissed him with his famous retort, "Bah, humbug!" To Scrooge, Christmas was nothing but an excuse for foolish spending and wasteful charity. He saw no joy in giving, no pleasure in fellowship, and no value in anything that could not be measured in pounds and shillings. That evening, alone in his cold, drafty chambers, Scrooge's carefully constructed world of solitude was shattered by an impossible sight. The ghost of Jacob Marley, his deceased business partner, materialized before him wrapped in heavy chains forged from cash boxes, keys, and ledgers. Marley's tortured spirit brought a terrifying warning. These chains were the price of a life devoted solely to profit, and Scrooge was forging an even heavier burden for his own afterlife. "I wear the chain I forged in life," Marley moaned, his ghostly voice echoing with regret. "I made it link by link and yard by yard. You have been making yours for 7 years longer than mine. Yours is a ponderous chain indeed." Marley announced that 3 spirits would visit Scrooge that very night, offering him the chance for redemption that Marley himself had been denied. As the phantom vanished into the London fog, Scrooge's rational mind struggled to accept what his eyes had witnessed. At the stroke of one, the ghost of Christmas past appeared as a strange figure whose light seemed to emanate from within. This gentle spirit transported Scrooge through time, revealing forgotten memories that had shaped his bitter heart. They witnessed young Ebenezer as a lonely child, abandoned at school during Christmas holidays while other boys went home to their families. They saw his beloved sister Fan, whose early death had robbed him of one of his few sources of joy. Most painful was the memory of Belle, the woman who had once loved him. The spirit showed Scrooge the moment she ended their engagement, recognizing that his growing obsession with wealth had replaced his capacity for human affection. "Another idol has displaced me," she said sadly. "A golden one." They watched as Belle found happiness with another man, raising the family that could have been Scrooge's. The ghost of Christmas present arrived as a magnificent, jovial giant crowned with holly and draped in green robes. This spirit revealed London's Christmas celebration in all its forms, but most importantly, he brought Scrooge to the humble home of Bob Cratchit. Here, despite earning a mere 15 shillings per week, the Cratchit family celebrated with genuine joy. Mrs. Cratchit had prepared a small goose, barely adequate for their large family, yet they shared it with gratitude and laughter. But it was Tiny Tim, Bob's frail youngest son, who truly opened Scrooge's eyes. The crippled child, despite his weakness and the family's poverty, radiated such pure goodness that his presence blessed everyone around him. "God bless us, everyone," Tiny Tim declared, his small voice carrying infinite faith and love. When Scrooge, moved despite himself, asked about the child's future, the spirit's response chilled him. "If these shadows remain unaltered, the child will die." The spirit then transported Scrooge to his nephew's Christmas gathering, where, despite Uncle Scrooge's earlier rudeness, the family toasted his health and expressed genuine hope for his happiness. Their forgiveness and continued love, even after his cruel rejection, began to melt the ice around Scrooge's heart. The final visitor was the most terrifying of all. The ghost of Christmas, yet to come, appeared as a silent, hooded figure that seemed to absorb light itself. Without speaking, this phantom led Scrooge through scenes of death and indifference, showing him conversations about someone's recent passing. Businessmen discussed the death with casual dismissal. "I don't mind going if a lunch is provided." Others rifled through the deceased's belongings with callous greed, dividing up possessions before the body was even cold. The spirit guided Scrooge to a neglected grave bearing his own name, revealing that he was witnessing his own death, unmourned, unremembered, leaving behind nothing but relief among those he had wronged. But the most devastating scene was the Cratchit household, now draped in grief. Tiny Tim had died, and the family that had shown such joy despite their poverty now struggled with a heartbreak that Scrooge's miserliness had helped to cause. Bob Cratchit, his spirit broken, could barely function in his sorrow. Falling to his knees before his own gravestone, Scrooge cried out in desperation, Spirit, assure me that I yet may change these shadows by an altered life. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. Scrooge awakened in his own bed on Christmas morning, sunlight streaming through windows, his heart pounding with joy and possibility. The transformation was immediate and complete. The man who had slept as a miser arose as a benefactor, his soul overflowing with love, gratitude, and an overwhelming desire to make amends. He rushed through London streets, marveling at the beauty of the Christmas morning he had always scorned. Stopping a boy, he sent him to purchase the largest turkey in the shop, anonymously delivering it to the Cratchit family. He made generous donations to charity collectors he had previously spurned. Most importantly, he appeared at his nephew's door, humble and eager to join the celebration he had so bitterly rejected. The next morning, when Bob Cratchit arrived late to work expecting harsh punishment, Scrooge surprised him with a substantial raise and a promise to help care for his family. True to his word, Scrooge became like a second father to Tiny Tim, ensuring the child received the medical care needed to thrive. From that Christmas forward, Ebenezer Scrooge became known throughout London for his generosity, kindness, and joy. He kept Christmas in his heart every day of the year, proving that redemption is possible for even the most hardened soul. Dickens gave us more than just a ghost story. He created a timeless reminder that it's never too late to change, that love conquers bitterness, and that the true spirit of Christmas lives in acts of kindness and compassion toward our fellow human beings. Thank you for joining us on this journey through one of literature's greatest tales of transformation. If you enjoyed this summary, please like and subscribe for more classic literature. Until next time, may you keep the Christmas spirit alive in your heart all year long.